Hey everybody, this is Elliot. Welcome back to our class. I know it's been a long time since we've met, probably 3 weeks. And in those 3 weeks, a lot of things have happened. So it's good to have you back. We're going to try out this online class thing, see how we do, and hopefully your projects in the end will still turn out pretty good. I hope you continue to program with Unity and just keep learning and hopefully we'll get through this crazy time. Um, I wanted to let you know that again, our class is going to be operating asynchronously, so you do not have to actually be online or on our Zoom call at 11 a.m. on Tuesdays. Eastern time. But if you are, that's great. We can talk. I'll have office hours at that time. But this video you can obviously watch whenever you want. And then all of our assignments just need to, give a soft deadline, but usually the Friday of the week that I post this video, or sorry, did I say Friday? Monday. I'll have it be the Monday, um, at the first Monday after when I post this video, which is usually going to be on a Tuesday. Okay. So just to review crazy things that have happened in the world, let me first minimize myself. Um, and this week, we're going to be talking about human-centered programming. Um, as you all can guess, in our kind of new paradigm of learning here, VR and online learning is actually kind of all of a sudden thrust into the forefront of everyone's minds. So this is kind of useful stuff to know. But I thought what would be helpful is just actually looking at what happened to our world in the last few weeks and how we all of a sudden just got kind of like put into this bizarro world. Um, so yesterday was March 23rd, and our classes resumed, which is good. But just going back in time, on Sunday, they completely closed the campus to everybody, staff, faculty, and students. Um, and something that's useful to you is that winter grades are now recommended to be pass-fail. So for my class, it's not a required class for anyone, even DDDG people. So I was going to do, um, I can still give you guys A's. Most of you guys actually deserve A's anyway. So I'll keep it as A. Basically, if it was going to be anything less than an A that you would get in my class, I would just put it as a pass probably. Okay, so if you have a problem with that, let me know. You can email me or talk to me later. But just only a few days ago, graduations were canceled. The students who are living in Whittier Hall are warned to leave by the 25th, which I think is kind of crazy. So I know some of you guys live there, which I hope you're doing okay. I know it's crazy to be kind of kicked out of your living situation. But yeah, these things are just really kind of coming up quick. Um, the 16th, that was really like just a week ago. They suspended all research activities, and then that was the beginning of spring break. The 11th was when they determined all of our courses should be going online, so we've been working on that. And really, a few other things happened, but the 6th is when they made the first suggestion that people should have access prepared if students wanted to learn remotely for our classes because of the coronavirus stuff. So that was, yeah, really just less than 3 weeks ago that we were still sitting at TC, kind of enjoying normal life. But these things have been happening for months now already in China and other countries. So that's the way things are, I guess. We'll just kind of make do with what we can. With that, let's get into some of the reading and the things that we were going to be looking at. Okay, so what we are looking at is human-centered design for VR. So with human-centered design for VR, one of the most important things really is the interactions that the user encounters in your game or in your experience, whatever you want to make. So in the Jerald readings, the chapter 25 and chapter 26, he looks mostly at that kind of stuff. I'm just briefly going to go through some of that and just highlight some of the things I thought were very important. But one of the most important things about VR interactions is that users experience it in an intuitive manner that is a pleasurable experience and devoid of frustration. And this is kind of true for any sort of thing that people are going to use, right? You don't want them to be too frustrated with it, and you want it to be actually an enjoyable experience if that's your goal, so that people will want to use it more. You know? And when we say human-centered, we just mean that we focus on the interface from the user's point of view. Okay. And again, what we're trying to do is with the design of our VR experiences, we are looking at understanding at how much the user can understand through what we design. Do they know what is happening? Do they know what can be done with what we have? And do they know how to do it? With VR, it's difficult because they're fully immersed in this virtual world, and excuse me, they don't have the ability to go look at like a manual or check an internet page really easily yet. So have we created a place where they can actually easily look at or easily figure out what we're trying to get them to do. Okay. So intuitiveness is a term that is very important here for us. Okay. So an intuitive interface can be quickly understood, accurately predicted, and easily used. That's what we mean by does someone's intuition enable them to use this easily and quickly. All right. You as the designer can help do this by conveying through the world that you create and the different objects in it concepts that support the creation of a mental model in your user. So no matter what you do, you're going to create a mental model for them, and people will create that for everything that they encounter. This is not a cognition class, but basically that's where we're going with that. So is the mental model that you are creating for your user a helpful one, an easily usable one, one that enables them to function well in your virtual world? Then that means you've done a good job designing. If you haven't, then things are difficult and frustrating. All right. And I wanted you to look at Jerald's image on feedback that he has. I think I may have put this actually in the slideshow here, so we'll see later on if it comes up. But something important first when you're thinking about intuitiveness and design is the idea of affordances. So Gibson and Greeno have covered this kind of stuff. Jerald also covered it too. But when it comes to affordances, right, these are the perceived possibilities for action that is basically communicated by the design of an object or something like that. So with buttons, it's pretty obvious that they're being communicated to be pushed. With flips, like light switches, right? Or flips, I said switch. Yeah, with switches, it's communicated that they should be flipped up or down, pretty much. And then knobs, right? You want to rotate them. So in this bottom picture here, I have a bunch of different kind of random things that show they all have different affordances just by virtue of their appearance, right? Some things are supposed to be pressed, like buttons, right? Other things are twisted, like knob, right? This is just like a pointer, with these things, which we'll talk about as are called signifiers, show that this should be moved up and down, and that moving up decreases whatever value this means, and then moving down increases it by 1. So you have things like this, okay? Affordances. Norman, in his 2013 paper, has his principles of interaction design, and all of those things are basically discussed there. Affordances define what actions are possible and how something can be interacted with by a user. Signifiers, which I showed before, are any perceivable indicator that communicates to a user. So this can be actual text, or it can be other kinds of like emojis or something like that, okay, arrows, things like that. Constraints are limitations of actions and behaviors, and these, again, are logic, They can be semantic, even cultural as well, because you have to think about what kinds of users are using your thing and what actions are comfortable for different cultures. Um, Degrees of freedom in virtual reality is where this comes in as well for constraints. And so those can be very useful. Feedback is basically communication to a user through the results of an action or the status of a task. Okay. Feedback is essential, but if you give too much, then it can be overwhelming. Right? And then finally, the last thing in his principles of interaction design are mappings, which are a relationship between two or more things. Okay, and typically an example would be like hand controllers, their relationship to actions that are done are good. A good mapping is hand controllers are used for like virtual hand techniques or pointing, but what they can be bad for, and I'm talking about the VR hand controllers, like the Vive ones or the Oculus ones, they can be bad for like a driving simulator because it's kind of difficult, right? You have to hold them in like a circular sort of imaginary wheel thing when really what just would be better is an actual steering wheel that you could, take the information from. Okay. All right. Okay. So here's that picture from Jerald's book, adapted from Norman's. And really what it just shows is that in interactions and feedback, what you get are sort of different levels of both your body reacting to something and then that turning into sort of a cognitive idea or concept. Okay. And it always leads basically to a goal, right? You as a designer have a goal for things that you want people to experience. All right. And then it just cycles through again. People think or reflect on something when they plan things. And then their behavior is that they are trying to specify then what they're going to do. Then they have a actual physical movement or something that performs that action on the world. And then it goes back. What happened? Well, you perceive what happened. You interpret the thing that happened if it was right or wrong. You compare what should have been done. Was that your goal? And it's just like a cycle that goes through. All right. Great. So the other reading that we had was the Rubio, Tamayo, and others reading, which was a systematic literature review on VR. It was pretty thorough, I would say. And three important things I want you to take out of it is that it covered potential uses and design considerations for VR. It analyzed the communications possibilities, for, gosh, I keep changing something. Oops, here's the article. All right, yeah, for you, in case you wanted to see it, was here. Okay, immersive environments and virtual reality. Anyway, and it reviews relevant research using VR. All right. It is relatively long, so I'd say if you have a specific topic in VR that you're interested in looking up and finding research and writing about it in articles, then I'd say open up the document, do a brief scan of it, maybe search for words that you think are important to what you're looking at, and that will help you read through it, because I don't think you really need to read through the entire thing. You can if you want to. It's okay reading. So, sorry, it's not much of a recommendation. All right, for our class. So the last week that we met was almost 3 weeks ago, March 10th, and that class was actually, oh no, I'm sorry, we didn't even meet. That class was canceled. We met March 3rd. And so the March 10th class, what I asked you guys to do is, so instead of us meeting because we were canceled, I asked you to download the 2D platformer tutorial from Unity. Go through the tutorial, which I think you all at this point should be pretty good at using Unity and were able to do it. It didn't require any coding, and it had step-by-step instructions, which was helpful. Then I wanted you to try some modifications, and they had tutorials on doing different modifications as well. So hopefully you did that. If you haven't, that's fine. But I would like to see what you have done. So in our Canvas page, please provide a link to your WebGL version. And this hopefully is in the Unity Connect platform, which I'll show you in just a minute, because that is basically what we're going to try and use. So right now I am in the process of trying to get a Unity Connect group just for Teachers College, and so hopefully once that happens, then we can easily find and connect to each other's work, and you can always upload projects to that platform on Unity, and it'll be easy for us to find. Also, in case you wanted to use this to become a developer or use it as part of your portfolio or something like that, then this will be easy for your future employers to use to find your work and for you to publish what you've done. Okay. It also means that your projects will all need to have at least some version of them that are WebGL compatible, I guess. But there'll be more on that as time comes. Okay. But for now, please just again send me a link to your 2D platformer tutorial, and then I can take a look at that. And then also, the last thing is that Challenge 3 is what we were going to work on when we were last going to meet, but we got canceled. So I would like you to upload a link to your Challenge 3 project, again in our Canvas assignments, and there should be one that's specified for it. You can also show it to me during office hours if you'd like, and that should be pretty much, you'll be good to go. Okay, and so I think the rhythm of our class is probably going to be something like this, where I send you a video and slides that will hopefully take less than half an hour, and then it'll also kind of cover what next I'm looking for in terms of your homework and things like that. All right. So with that, I'll be seeing anyone who wants to join at 11 a.m. Eastern time on the Zoom link. That Zoom link should repeat every week, so it should be the same one, and we should be, easy to find. Okay. Other than that, I can also do custom office hours if you are away out of this country and a better time would fit for you. So just let me know. Okay. But I hope you guys are well. We're gonna try and work through this together. So stay safe, stay socially distanced from each other. And yeah, hopefully I will see you guys soon. Who knows when that'll be, but hopefully it'll be soon. All right, bye.